Hey, good morning, everyone. It's about 7:45. Jacob Dickey here. We got Adam. Adam's just waving.
Sorry, I was just being quiet. Good morning, everyone. It's been a long morning of me talking, right?
Yeah, we got a little snow out there. Now, what I want to do real quick is it looks like some of my publishing is having a little issue getting posted, so we'll give it another second or two. Folks are starting to jump on in now. So everything's working now. Our mics are working, Adam. We're all good.
Hello, yes,
So
yes.
we're here to talk about the snow, aren't we?
Yes, we are, sir.
Got a little bit out there on the way. Of course, if you haven't heard, then that's what you were expecting. And that snow expected to arrive into tonight. So we figured we'd just jump on Facebook here during the morning hours and say hello and talk a little bit about the snow here. And let me double check to make sure those destinations are all lined up. Everything's good. So we've got folks that are checking in. As you're checking in, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. If you have questions, Adam and I will answer them at the end. And we will then be sure and have everything everything's updated right now, in fact, on WCIA.com and the WCIA3 weather app. So Adam, I'm going to let you take it away and talk more about some of these current conditions. So we'll let you have it.
Perfect. I like the little slide thing. That was pretty cool. Notice that we've got right now temperatures above freezing for a lot of the area too. 32 in Watseka, 32 in Pontiac, 33 in Champaign, and then you get to the 41 there in Effingham. So we're already starting above that freezing mark here. Think about that. That's going to actually play a role later on to what we see later on tonight going into tomorrow during the morning hours here. Those temperatures above freezing, that's going to play a little bit more of that role in how the snow starts to form and how it does or does not stick here across central Illinois as well. So keep that in mind, that the temperatures are really going to need a little bit more of the frozenness that we aren't going to see here from this overall. So keep that in mind, that the temperatures in the 35 mark there in Danville, really not conducive for the light flaky snowfall here. We're seeing more of the wet snow in our forecast here across the area. So that's what we're looking at going forward in time. So there we go, wind chill values. 27 in Watseka, 33 in Champaign, 35 in Decatur. Even the wind chill values, not too terribly bad to start out for this morning. There we go. Clicker was being a little funky there this morning. Now, the bulk of our precipitation is coming from this system down towards the south and west. It's now in Oklahoma, bringing snow to Kansas, southwest Missouri, Springfield, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, northwest Arkansas. They're seeing the precipitation right now. All that activity is going to move this way as we progress through the day. So through the Show Me State into the Prairie State here later on tonight. We won't really see an influence from that system until this evening. We won't start seeing our snow precip and chances for that later on until tonight. So satellite and radar here at home, even seeing some sunshine there as we go into Mattoon earlier this morning during the 9 o'clock hour of our show. Taylorville into Effingham, clear conditions here. Mostly cloudy conditions overall. But with the system, I mentioned the temperatures, right? Well, let's speak of that. Tuesday night and into Wednesday, 32 degrees at night. Around that spot, we'll see a better chance of accumulating snow. But we're already seeing forecasts and already seeing conditions at the ground level, at the surface, in the ground, above freezing during the day. That's going to make it so it melts during the day, too. So the temperatures above 32, also melting snow as well. So snowfall rates higher equals more stick. But here's the thing, if it doesn't fall quite as much, that's where we're going to start seeing more of that meltingness and not really sticking as well. Those temperatures could be a help or a hindrance for those wet snow that we're going to see. The impacts we're going to see from this: a wide swath of 2 to 6 inches of snow, a gust up to 20 to 30 miles per hour. Now, not blowing snow like we've seen in the past here, but still the snow we are going to see will start to be more clumpy in nature here. Perfect for snowmen, perfect for snowball fights. So not a huge issue for the cold temperatures. Behind this, temperatures only in the 30s, not like that one storm we had back in December that knocked us right back down into much colder conditions. I've got Jacob. Jacob, what are you looking for? What do you got?
Yeah, we want to talk more before we get too far into the impacts. We wanted to talk about where the snow is and where it's coming here and whatnot. So we'll go ahead and first off, somebody messaged and said they're watching in Camargo. They've got some sunshine. This is that camera looking over the State Farm Center. Off in the distance there, there's some sunshine down there. And Adam, we kind of talked about where this morning, okay, if we start getting some more sunshine and those temperatures climb even more than forecasted, we're going low 40s, sunshine like that, I think some spots are going to make a run for the low even middle 40s today. That's Mattoon. We'll check out Effingham real quick as well, and you'll see the same thing. It's a nice sunny sky down there. That is going to help warm things up and bring that warm air to the north into the south and east winds. So we're at 39 for the forecast in Champaign. That probably at this point I think is going to make those low 40s here into the region. So something of interest that I was just noticing while we were out and about. All right, so we're going to switch here and talk about that radar again. You saw Adam show it, and you can see here. That's Storm Tracker Doppler. Things looking fine there. When we zoom in on that radar and add that satellite, this is all that sunshine that's sneaking in here and really helping those temperatures to pop that he mentioned. You'll see that across the region. I got a big wide view. Our winter storm now is down to the south. A lot of snow in Oklahoma, right up I-44 from Lawton to Oklahoma City and to Tulsa. South of there, a lot of heavy rain as well. This system really tapping into some of that rich Gulf moisture, and that's going to help bring a lot of moisture our ways, which if we had that cold air in place, Adam, we would certainly be seeing maybe more snow than we've got forecast here. That graphic he showed you, the winter weather list, we'll come back to that here in a second. Do want to mention the south side of the system, severe weather, going to be a tornado day here, and let me get back to that here. Probably in parts of the Texas and Louisiana coast here across our region as we see the stormy side of it. We're on the cold side. We don't have to worry about any of that here for a little bit. Let's talk about those weather watches and warnings, and it looks like maybe my computer is trying to glitch up a little bit here. You'll see there's a swath of winter storm warnings from Texas, Oklahoma, all the way up I-44 to St. Louis, and then it runs I-70 to the east, and that does include parts of our area. On TV, you've seen the crawl going here. There's that winter storm warning in pink, winter weather advisory in that bluish color. You know, some folks saw the winter storm watch come out, and they said, oh, I'm not expected to get anything. Everyone is going to see snow from this event. The areas with the greater impacts is where the winter storm warning is in place for, but again, those temperatures are key here. I tend to think we're on our way to looking more like this, which is a couple of degrees above our forecast, Adam. You can see Tuesday, that's today, 3 o'clock. If we end up being 45 in Mattoon and Effingham, we get to 43 in Champaign. The warmer the air that we get, the more warmth they're putting in the ground, on surfaces, and then some of that snow will help to melt a little bit as we continue to monitor. Moving forth then, 5, 6 o'clock, temperatures start to drop. The interesting thing is we actually don't expect to drop below freezing 32 at any point tonight or tomorrow while the snow is falling. 32 is that magic number. We still can get snow above 32, but it oftentimes melts, and we'll do that while it's falling. So we're finding that delicate balance here. There's lunchtime up to 35 in Champaign, 37 in Effingham. That snow is finally pulling out, and even into Wednesday night, still above freezing. It's not till Thursday morning that we get down below freezing here. The snow well gone by then. So that's an interesting factor to the system. Let's talk timing of the snow here. We've got rain and snow to start. That transition happening between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. and from south to north here. By about 2 a.m. or so, I expect to see widespread snow showers. The heavier snow, there'll be some banding south of I-72, probably along I-70 somewhere where those snowfall rates might overcompensate the melting even more, help to put some more snow on the ground. But you'll see here as we continue, 8 o'clock. We get to 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Now that snow's starting to pull out. Remember, those temperatures were still above freezing that entire time here, which, let's say they were in the 20s. We'd have all of that snow sticking and have some big totals around here. Instead, those numbers looking a little bit lower. Here's the snow showers. They're going to continue to Wednesday night and Thursday, scattered in nature, but here's that snowfall forecast that we've come up with. We'll go with a widespread 3 to 5 inches here. It will not be on every surface. Roads will see less because it will melt more. You'll see it more likely on grassy surfaces, elevated surfaces. In some spots you may see more than that number. But on the average we're looking for is 3 to 5 inches of sticking snow that's heavy and wet in nature. Somewhere down here along I-70 there'll be a band, we think, which could get 4 to 6 inches for a short period of time. But as the snow exits, it's going to keep melting, which is an issue. And that's why we had this accumulation graphic here that, Adam, you were talking a little bit about. You can talk us more about that here. And well, it looks like my slider's the wrong direction. There we go. That graphic here real quick, Adam. It's 32 at night, near or so. That helps to accumulate. But above during the day, it's really melting slowly. Soil temperatures are above 32. We're still melting. And snowfall rates are higher, which means some will stick there. It's that delicate balance, Adam, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing we've been watching for the entire time, whether we're going to see these 32-degree temperatures or above or even below that 32, that magic number he's been talking about, whether we're going to see that at the ground surface and the air temperature as well. That's all going to make a difference for this snow that's coming through here as well. So it's going to really impact what we see here moving on forward. Now, impacts, as I mentioned, now showing the map again. It's all right.
Otherwise, yeah, you keep switching mine over here, and so now it's, there we go.
Who's
you back to you.
Who's? Who's switching who's? Anyways, 2 to 6 inches there for a wide swath, gusts up to 23 miles per hour. We're not so much worried about the blowing snow for the fact that we have the wetter conditions here for that snowfall. Again, it's going to make it hard to really be pushed by the wind. Not saying we couldn't see any at all, but I really think it's going to be on the lower end compared to what we've seen beforehand with some of our systems. Not a huge issue for the cold temperatures. Again, we've already seen those temperatures. We're already flirting with above freezing throughout the system. Behind it, yes, there is colder air, but not that bone-chilling air that we had earlier this season so far. That morning commute is going to be a rough one, though. Lower visibilities because of the snowfall itself, those fat flakes flying through, those thick flakes flying through as well here. And the best place to see some of those impacts would be closer towards Paris, Mattoon, Effingham. Some more medium impacts there in Champaign County, Decatur, all the way to Springfield. A little bit lower as you go to the Twin Cities, to Pontiac, and into Lincoln and Jacksonville as well. They're seeing lighter amounts of snowfall expected anyways as you go towards the north and west. So keep that in mind as you're driving to work for tomorrow. Here's your travel. It's going to get worse as the morning progresses. From about 5 to lunchtime, that's about the worst we're going to see. It starts to let up later on in the afternoon here too, about 33 degrees, but the snow letting up a little bit here, becoming more scattered snow showers as we go towards the end of the day, closer to the mid-afternoon, end of the day hours here across the area. So keep that in mind. Some highlights from the storm, as we mentioned already, heaviest about 5 to 6 o'clock here, or 5 to 6 a.m. to 12 o'clock. And it starts late tonight going into tomorrow morning. Some melting to occur. Again, those magic numbers above 32 or at 32 or even below that. Heavy, wet, slushy snow possible. Windy, but not blowing, drifting snow. Not very likely. You could see a few spots, but I really don't think it's going to be that major one we've seen where we had blowing and drifting snow. Part of our forecast there when we had our last big storm system back in December. And not the deep cold behind this as well, too. So keep that in mind. We're not seeing the temperatures in the teens or single digits here for highs or even in the negative values here. We're seeing it back into the 20s and 30s here for the rest of the week. So, Jacob, you got anything else to add?
Well, some of those snowfall maps that we saw flying around early on from this system were advertising, 8, 12, 16 inches of snow. And that just wasn't a reality here. The guidance wasn't picking up, I think, that bottom line. Point to that bottom line there. Not the deep cold like we had before. It would be a much different story for us, Adam, if we were in the 20s for a couple of days before this event. Instead, if we get to those mid-40s today, we were even thinking 3 to 5 inches. Is that almost too much of a forecast at some point here? So that's going to be the key here is that balance can often be very tricky between melting, falling, sticking, maybe more on grassy surfaces. Roads, though, with some of the snowfall rates, Adam, they might be greater than an inch an hour, which will certainly put some snow and slush on those roads, but that may cause some of those travel impacts that you said also.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those morning commutes too. I know some people are going to probably have to shovel out a little bit here, and that snow, that wet snow, that heavier wet snow isn't going to be fun to shovel, and it's going to be a little dangerous too at times. I mean, you did a story on our winter weather special about the heavy heart attack snow potential there too, with some of that snow you could find out there, and how you need to probably take a break out there or have somebody else shovel for you. Yeah,
I had a cardiologist tell me with that story. He said that when there's snow and winter weather, they're usually twice as busy, if not more, because of cardiac patients coming in from things like that. So that certainly is interesting to see. Hey, Adam, I'm going to show some of the new tools that folks will watch you use in the morning show here. First off, a reminder, you can download our app. It's a way to stay connected with the forecast. You get weather alerts sent to you. You can get forecast details and more. Great app to have. Check for Android and Apple devices. Search WCIA3 Weather. Folks that have gotten those winter weather alerts already have got their location program. They've gotten updates on them through that. This is going to be really fun and really excited to see this. So traffic conditions is obviously one thing that's very important to people. We want to know how those roads are. We've built a new feature, and it's also available on our website. I'll show you that here in a bit. This is almost an interactive road conditions report, and unique to our station at this point. You can see here as we zoom in, we can talk specific roads and talk specific areas. All of these roads are road reports that are out there. And we can get as close as to local levels here. So if we say, we want to talk more about central and northern Champaign County, we'll be able to point out US 150. How's that road? We'll be able to point out Illinois 130, Illinois 57, Illinois 45. All of these different roads we can talk about and bring you information on. And I think you'll see Adam use that quite a bit. We can move around and find those trouble spots that are out there. Right now, everything's clear, but as we get snow, we'll start seeing things fall in one of these other categories here. And so that's something that we'll continue to see. So we will keep an eye on that. I think that's a great resource that we can use and share with you. Of course, that's for the viewing area. We have had one issue. The data from Coles County, it's in black right now. It will actually be in green, but the issue is until we get a change in that, it will look different, but we're still going to have that. But just wanted to point this, we had a couple questions. What about Coles County? You're not forgetting us. That's just some data that has not been updated from our data provider for that. Let me show you the website also here, and that web view. Adam, we've really put some work into the website to make this thing look snazzy here, and I'm going to pull the website full screen, in fact. This is... You log on to wci.com/weather. Of course, you get the Weather Now article. Adam's got that updated from this morning. We've got our videos on there. You can watch those and all of the great stuff. The drop-down menu is a treasure trove of resources here. The Winter Weather Center, this one right here on the left side of the screen there, is a place you can get those traffic conditions anytime on the go. We've got a feature that's an interactive map. So perhaps you want to zoom in to your particular neighborhood. You'll get those traffic conditions and see, for the county and for the roads. But we also have put that graphic on there. So if you click on, hey, I'm in the Champaign-Danville area here, click above, bring that full screen, and you'll be able to see the updated road conditions and the last time they were updated. Another great way to stay connected. The Winter Weather Center also has those impacts, alerts. It shows you future track on there. Just a great way to stay connected with the forecast. At the bottom, then, there's travel impacts that are on there. Winter Weather Blog, we will activate that either late tonight or tomorrow, the drop-down menu. You can select Winter Weather Blog there, and you'll see this active. It'll be on our homepage on the app as well, the news app. And another great resource. And then Snow Bear Closings and Delays. I don't see any in yet, but Adam, I would suspect... probably going to see some, don't you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if we got a couple. I've already got people I know personally that are asking me if we're going to have a snow day already, some teachers that I'm related to. So they asked, are you going to have a snow day? Are you going to have a snow day? Well, I can't make those decisions, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got a few closings here or there. And again, that's a district by district call, but we don't make those calls, but we can tell you what the forecast is going to be, and they can make the decision from there. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple, at least a couple for tomorrow.
Yeah, and of course we'll update that as those come in. You can watch through the newscast. Our website has them. The app will have them and everything. And so we'll keep an eye on them and keep monitoring things. But yeah, the one thing to mention, we showed you on a computer browser. If you use your phone, go to WCI.com. It looks very similar. There's a drop-down menu, click weather. You can see all the info and all that as well. I think some folks, especially kids, Adam, they think, you make it a snow day. Well, that's not our decision. We don't do that.
We don't do that here.
Business. We just report the weather. But, if someone wanted to mail us a check for $50, I can up the snowfall total. Is that how that works?
What?
Is that how it works?
They just keep
$50 check. We can up the snow and make you have no school, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, wish it was that way.
I wish it was that way, but not quite.
Kevin's got his bread, milk, and egg shares. Egg shares are already up, though.
There you go.
As is. So is what it is. I don't know what people are into, just bread and milk now. Can't afford the eggs part of it. So, Adam, any last thoughts before we go?
I think you hit the nail on the head there on everything. I think we both did. I mean, we've got everything pretty much talked about. So
we've covered everything. So, again, you want to access the snowfall map. You want to see the information. Our website, WCI.com, has it. I've got links also included in this post that you'll see to the side on Facebook, or you can see those on, just head to the website in there for snowfall numbers and more. We are going to get snow. It's a battle of how fast are we melting, how fast is it falling, and at times the falling will overcome the melting. Once the snow stops, it will compact and continue to do so. So almost a challenging forecast, but the impacts, I think, with those roads probably still going to be snowy and slushy out there in the morning. But at least we're not putting ice down. So I think on a normal event it would be more manageable, but once a lot, we used to get snow all the time, didn't we, Adam?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to be the case anymore.
Well, we're getting tornadoes in January now, so
right.
I mean, this has been a wild month so far.
From one end to the other, that's how it seems to work.
Welcome.
All right. With that, then, Adam, we'll close out.
Do we have any questions that people need to ask?
Oh, questions. That's right. Yeah. Karen, she was saying, I've got that in the chat pulled up. She's watching from Camargo. She says it was sunny down that way. Nancy in Jacksonville saying there's sunshine there too, and so that's good to see.
Want to bring it to Champaign? We'd love to have it.
Yeah, down in Sigel, down in Coles, Cumberland County area. Julie saying there's sunshine there. Katie asking about when will Oakwood, Danville start with the snow. There's a timing graphic, and I can pull that up real quick. I forgot to, I think I have that one. Here it is. Let me just pull that full screen real quick. And whoop, there we go. You can see the timing there. It's going to start 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. down here to the south towards I-70 from the I-72 corridor. It's going to be 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. and then 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. to the north. And so that's something that we will continue to watch. All right, Kat asked, so the storm shifted again? No, we haven't really had any changes to the forecast. We are still on target for that widespread 3 to 5. Everything seems on track. Within that 4 to 6 range, the issue, Adam, is how people measure is honestly going to be
right.
If you measure every hour and add those numbers up, then we'll probably have some areas that get the higher totals if you do it that way. But as far as at the end of the event, what's on the ground, it's never going to reach those 8, 12-inch totals. There may be 8 to 12 inches that fall, but the melting is the issue here.
And that's something I've been kind of preaching all morning, too, is that what you see on the ground may not be exactly what fell. You might have a little bit more that fell, but on the ground, as you're looking at it and saying, well, how much did we get? It might be a little bit less. So,
or a lot more.
Or a lot more.
Yeah,
or either or. I mean, that's the thing. It's not going to equate like it does in a normal event.
Yeah, perhaps one way to think about it also is that when the snow falls, it hits the ground, it melts. This is actually probably a good scenario for farmers. We're putting some moisture in the ground slowly, and I think there's some folks that are happy about that. That drought is just hanging in there in some spots, and so we'll see those updates and try and wrap that up. So again, as far as the storm track shifting, no. We have came out with this forecast last night. I'll bring it back full screen real quick. We have came out with this forecast last night, and that's the one we're still sticking with here as of mid this morning. The winter storm warning that's in place is for areas here down to the south and east. We started off right out of the gate with 2 to 4 for the I-55 corridor yesterday, 3 to 5 for a vast area. The 4 to 6 inch is down there to the south. Areas that might see more, you might get more snow that falls than this, but the melting is a key factor here. The snow that falls may end up 3 to 5. It might be 5 to 7 inches of snowfall, but 2 to 4 inches of snow melt, and that gives us 3 to 5 inch range. The same thing down here. There may be 6, 8 or more inches of snow that actually fall, but once the snow compacts and melts, it's constantly melting during the entire event. So that's the key, but from an impacts perspective, that is a factor for us. And so that's something I think that's made this a little more tricky than, if we had 20-degree temperatures the entire week before here, Adam, we'd be maybe double in some spots, the numbers that we have on there. But this has been a warm winter.
Yeah.
Really warm, so that's a bit unusual. Mark asking the question, will salt work to help melt the snow this time? Yes, it will, because those surface temperatures are near or above freezing. And so that's why we're kind of running with roads will be snowy, maybe more slushy. It's a wet snow. It's falling. It's going to be melting some.
Doesn't mean you can't get slick spots out there. I mean, I've had times where I've driven through slush and it's started to slide a little bit here, but we're not talking about the icy roadway. It's more wet, slippery, slushy kind, not the icy, slippery kind.
Like we talked about with the pre-Christmas blizzard there, that big cold burst where salt would just not work in those types of events. It will work in this. It'll help to melt that snow. Having icy roads for days isn't a concern. In a normal January, 20, 30 years ago, this would be just another event. And it still is another event now, but it just seems like even events like this, Adam, are a little more rare these days.
Yeah.
So that's what we got. Okay, that is the forecast that we have for you. Again, get more details on the WCI3 weather app and on WCI.com. We'll be back. I'll have the noon update, and then Kevin will be in at 5, 6, 9, and 10. Then you'll catch Adam tomorrow morning.
5 to 8.
5 to 8.
Then at 9 o'clock as well, the 9 to 10 o'clock slot, and then the noon show too. And it'll be a very fun
And
time.
I'll be in the Storm Tracker.
Yeah.
Driving around. Wonder if I'm going to get donuts or egg sandwich somewhere maybe.
More like, what are you going to bring back is the real question.
What am I bringing back? They always ask that. They always ask that, so we'll see. Okay, that's what we have. If you're joining in late, you can go back and watch this. That's the update we have. We'll see you at noon on TV. Website 24/7, the app 24/7 there, and we'll keep you updated between Adam, Kevin, myself, and Seth will be around too to help with the blog during the event. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Those of you with sunshine, please send it more north, please. But we could use some more, that's for sure. All right, thanks for watching. Have a